What's good to you guys? This be your boy TJ. Welcome back to another video. Today we're doing our week 2 of my NFL weekly picks for the 2018-2019 NFL season. I got my homeboy with me back again for the second year in a row. It's your boy Maurice. Maurice, say what's up.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Alright, Maurice, as you know, week 1 is in the books. What a crazy week it was in week 1. We'll recap that before we get with our week 2 picks. What was your take in week 1?
Bad overall team play. I mean, a lot of teams didn't started in the preseason, so you expect that in week 1.
Exactly.
I expect a better week in week 2.
Alright, with that, let's recap the games from last week. Starting with the Eagles and Falcons. It wasn't a cute game at all, but the Eagles still got it done. What was your take on Nick Foles and Matt Ryan in the rematch in the NFC division round?
Reminiscent of the game of last season. Two good teams going at it, two playoff teams going at it, know each other, and it's week 1 again. Guys not familiar with each other yet, not on the same page. If that was week 6, you probably would have seen a better game, but week 1, no panic.
And the Eagles won that game 18-12. How about that Sunday game against the Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills? What was your take in that game?
This is awful. Buffalo better figure something out fast.
Yeah, Nathan Peterman.
They're going to be the worst team in the NFL. They're going to probably go 0 something or 1 and 16, 1 and 15 or something.
I announced last week that there will be no team to get past the 14 or 15 win mark this season. Probably between 12, maybe 13 wins. We'll just have to wait and see about that. But the Ravens start off real strong, and that's why Josh Allen is pretty much going to be the quarterback to start for the Bills this week.
Pretty much you don't know about the Ravens because they play Buffalo.
Exactly. Now the Steelers. I'm sorry. Now the Steelers and the Browns, who would ever thought that would be a 21-21 tie after overtime, and that was the first tie in the regular season since 1971, well before our days when we were born.
Well, actually, didn't the Eagles and Bengals tie a little recently after this era?
You know what? I gotta look into that. That's a good idea. I'll check that out and I'll get back with you with that. But yeah, it's the first tie since 1971, from what I hear, in the regular season. And I'm sorry.
Everybody needs to realize Cleveland is not a bad team anymore. Pittsburgh showed that they are the bad team because they let the Cleveland Browns tie with them. Even though it was a rainstorm,
exactly.
Both teams, but still, you was leading that game and you let them come back. So
yeah,
Cleveland.
Yeah, the Steelers were supposed to win that game, but how the hell did Roethlisberger just fumble the ball? I'm just devastated about that.
Cleveland.
Exactly.
Whether it's a tie, but it's a win for Cleveland.
Exactly. It's not a win. It's not a loss. It's a tie. So the Browns don't lose their first game of the season to kick off the season. Of course, the Bengals beat the Colts. I had that pick. Also, the Dolphins in a crazy game with the Titans in Miami. How many hours did it they had like 4 delays. So when was the game over? Close to 8 o'clock?
Yeah.
I have never witnessed nothing like that in the history of this game. And both teams should be really tired, so it's going to pretty much tell you how the teams are going to play this week when they play opposing teams.
Well, no, I wouldn't say they'd be tired because they had a lot of long delays waiting for that game to start 4 times.
Yeah.
So they won't be tired.
The next game, were you shocked about the 49ers dropping to the Minnesota Vikings? They made this game close, but Jimmy Garoppolo just...
Not at all. Minnesota's the same team and even better than the team that the Eagles faced in the NFC Championship game.
And of course...
I'm surprised Minnesota didn't beat them worse than what they did.
Exactly. And of course, Kirk Cousins, the new quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings, Pretty.
But again, not to be the guy to keep repeating myself, but it's week 1.
Oh yeah.
Guys have to get in sync with each other and things like that.
Yeah. Now the Patriots and Texans, I knew this would be a close game, and I said the Patriots would win that game, so no argument about that. Deshaun Watson almost did it, but Tom Brady, TB12. The Saints, who would have thought would lose to the Buccaneers? That was my survival pool pick, and they got trounced. I don't know how the hell Ryan Fitzpatrick, who they're now calling Fitzmagic. Come on now.
It's not that surprising that they lost. It's how the fashion that they lost. They let them score 48 points on them. When I heard all preseason analysts saying the Saints defense are much more improved than they were last year, and this team could be a real playoff team, and you go out there and let Fitzpatrick put up 48 points on you without a running game at all. He just threw on them, and I'm surprised about that.
And you got to remember, Mark Ingram is suspended, so Alvin Kamara had to do the running, which, it wasn't much of the offense that the Saints had issues with. It was their defense. Just couldn't stop Mike Evans, couldn't stop Deshaun Jackson.
You put up 40 points, it's not the offense. The defense gave up 48.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem.
But we'll see what happens.
Any other team would have put up 40 points would have won.
We'll see what happens upcoming. All right, the Jacksonville Jaguars, I had beat the Giants. Saquon Barkley getting his first NFL touchdown as a rookie. So, yeah, do you see more of that with Saquon coming up, especially with this matchup this upcoming weekend?
Yes. Against that Dallas front line, you're going to have over 100 yards.
Chargers
and a touchdown.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, what were you saying?
He's going to have over 100 yards and a touchdown.
Chargers and Chiefs. No one expected the Chargers to lose to the Chiefs on home turf, especially with first starting quarterback of Patrick Mahomes.
I'll put it to you this way: 2 people, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Andy Reid has his new baby, and he loves it, and he's working it. And the way he's throwing that ball, he's bombing it. Some Alex Smith couldn't do. This is why he wanted this guy. He drafted him. He knew what he was going to be.
He traded for him, and he got him in the draft. Exactly.
He knew what it was going to be, and he's showing it now. And he's showing it with confidence.
Redskins and Cardinals. Oh, man. I had picked the Redskins early part of the week, but then I freaking changed the pick. Why did I do that? You got Sam Bradford in the Cardinals. Bradford, I beg your pardon. And Adrian Peterson just tortured his former team.
That's what I was about to say. I mean, everybody was hyping up the Washington Redskins because of Alex Smith. I mean, I didn't expect Adrian Peterson to come in there and put up 98 yards on him in the touchdown. It looked like Adrian Peterson old.
That's crazy. That's real crazy.
That was impressive.
Can Adrian Peterson be that Adrian Peterson of the remainder of the season with the Redskins? Bears watching. Just to point that out.
Granted, it was the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, but we'll see.
We'll see. Panthers and Cowboys, I wasn't surprised about the score, but I knew the Panthers would win this one out. Cowboys just look horrible right now without the wide receiver of Dez Bryant and also the tight end of Jason Witten, who's now working with ESPN. So, yeah, Cowboys got their work cut out, but, moving on with that. I don't think the Cowboys are going to be doing much in the NFC East this season, even with the Eagles.
Anytime your former wide receiver makes fun of you on Twitter, you ain't doing that.
We'll talk about that in just a minute. Denver, I was a shock because I had Seahawks winning this game, but Case Keenum, talk about a debut for the Broncos, and that defense for Denver is going to be something we all got to look forward to this season.
But you know what I gave the edge up on in that game over Denver and Seattle was the mile high air.
Exactly. That mile high air can do something.
No matter how much you go to a high training camp or whatever, you can't prepare for that kind of air.
Exactly, and even the Eagles back then, they couldn't beat Denver, even when a man named Peyton Manning just trounced. Not didn't trounce us, but we just couldn't get the job done. Packers and Bears.
Khalil Mack. Return of the Mack.
But
oh, man, he's going to wreak havoc in the NFC North. He's going to hurt a lot of quarterbacks.
the big story is Aaron Rodgers, how he tweaked his knee, but came back and still was hobbling on it, and now they're saying it's a sprained knee. He's practicing a little. He's not practicing, I think, but he's just going to wear it out. So it's still questionable about what the thing series is going to be this weekend with him.
He's the Iron Man. If his leg is not detached or if it's not a torn ACL or anything, you're going to see him out here next week.
AR-12.
Nothing behind him.
Yeah, he just came back in that second half and just lit the Bears' lights out in a 1-point win for Green Bay. The Monday night game, the Lions and Jets. This was the most shocking of them all this week compared to Tampa Bay and New Orleans. This has to be the shocker run.
Benny and the Jets.
Who would ever thought the rookie quarterback, Sam?
It wasn't shocking to me because I know how bad the Detroit Lions and Matt Patricia is going to be because he's a hard-nosed coach. He's trying to be like Bill Belichick, and you can only be yourself. You're not Bill Belichick, so you can't come in with that same Bill Belichick attitude.
Exactly.
And none of the players and the veterans don't like him already, so that's a no-no. This team is only going to get worse. You see how they quarterback got beat up already on Monday night by the Jets?
Yeah.
And they really don't have a front line. So you imagine when they face a team that really has like a Chicago, who has a Khalil Mack. That man is not going to last through a whole season, and they coach better figure something out quick.
One of the Jets players noted that he knew the signal of what Matthew Stafford was going to do. I asked somebody a question. Is that considered cheating if you look at another person's play by what they're doing on the field and you know what's going to happen and this is what happens or that's what happens and then boom, you're in the round. You don't say things like that. You keep things like that to yourself, You don't speak out loud about that.
It's not like the Patriots when you're looking at a
Spygate.
Seeing their calls and stuff like that. You got a guy spying on you.
Right.
He read that. He was smart enough to read that himself, so that's not cheating.
Okay.
If you're smart enough to read that out on the field, that's not cheating.
Right.
Maybe he played on a team that ran this before and he knew what was coming.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't say that's cheating because you can read a play when the quarterback called it. I mean, you're just that smart, or you might have seen, or you might have been involved in a play like that.
And Sam Darnold, man, I'm telling you. Hey, Darnold, can you do it again this week at home? We'll find out. And in the last game on Monday night, the Rams and Raiders, I wasn't shocked about this because I knew the Rams was going to outdo the Raiders. But my question is, was it the Raiders' mistake signing John Gruden for 10 years and then trading away Khalil Mack?
Yes. He tore up that team already by getting rid of Khalil Mack. He's bringing that same attitude that he had 10, 12 years, 10, 11 years ago. And this is a new NFL. You've been in the booth. You can't do that.
Exactly. You should have stayed MTV. Exactly.
You just be a coach.
Exactly.
That's all you do. Just coach the players. Don't start saying this guy don't fit. This guy don't want to listen. This guy ain't this. No, you don't do that. You don't even know these players yet. You already picking out guys you don't want there, or you don't deserve this. No, you're a coach. Stay in your place.
I got a feeling that this is going to be a down season for the Raiders. And Derek Carr played like his brother David, who's an analyst on NFL Network. So, yeah, go figure.
And if you look
David
at
and Derek.
From last year to this year, when he had a different coach, he looked better than that.
Yeah.
This year, he's not going to look like this.
Nah.
Gruden is a defensive guy first, and you don't know how to run an offense.
Mm-hmm. So that also bears watching what the Raiders are going to do. But I think the Raiders are going to take a step back as well this upcoming season. All right, with that, I can tell you my record was 9-6-1 straight up. I went 3-0 over under, and I went 2-1 against the spread. So that was pretty good, but unfortunately, I could do a lot better and hope we get some better results in week number 2. All right, let's get with our picks in week number 2. Tomorrow night, Thursday night football, it's the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. Both teams won last week, and Joe Flacco looked like himself again. And Andy Dalton, who I couldn't get his name, I think, to be honest, he may be playing with the Bengals for the last time in his career. He may be moving on to other teams, so that bears watching as well. But in this game, who you are picking?
Well, I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens.
And you know what? Crazy as it sounds, because Baltimore is the team that Cincinnati put out of the playoffs and dashed their hopes. You would think this would be a repeat, but this time on their home turf. You know what? I was leaning on with the Bengals, but I too am going with the Ravens. I think the Ravens will come back and, dash the Bengals' chances of going 2-0.
They have the better team. They have the more disciplined team. They have the more veteran coach who won Super Bowls, who's been in big games, and my mind's back to the guy in Cincinnati. I forget what is his name, coach?
Marv Lewis, which I think
Marvin
he's in his
Lewis.
final
He hasn't
term too.
shown anything since he's been there. I don't know why he's still there.
Yeah, I think like I alluded to you earlier, I think the Bengals are about to, dismantle this team if they don't get into the playoffs or whatever. Marv Lewis, I think, is done as a coach there, and I think Andy Dalton may take his business to Buffalo because the fans loved him, and yeah, that's my take.
No,
So
not Buffalo, because they got Josh Allen.
well, he can still, like I said, because you know what, rookie quarterbacks can also get hurt too. So yeah, if Andy Dalton's have a bad season, if the Bills
I don't think he's gonna go nowhere and be a backup. He's gonna be a starter.
yeah, he's gonna be a starter. So think about it. He can start with the Bills, and Josh Allen could end up being his backup. Hey, it works like that.
Don't be surprised if he started Miami.
Well,
He'll always get hurt or something like that.
True.
I think he's about to be on the end of his rope with Miami. You see what they did with that team already. They blew it up. He's the last piece. You can't have your quarterback hurt every year.
No, you can't.
All
right.
Maybe Andy Dalton ends up in Miami.
Well, we'll see. All right, Sunday games. We got the 1-0 Kansas City Chiefs traveling to Steel City to face the 0-1 Steelers. Meanwhile, Le'Veon Bell is off the depth charts in week number 2. Alan Connor will start as the halfback for the Steelers again in week 2. He didn't do too bad last week, but the Steelers should have won that game against the Browns.
He had a great game last week, and Le'Veon Bell, who I just was upset with Pittsburgh because they put the ball in Roethlisberger's hand instead of putting it in Connor's hand. The same way if Bell was there, you let him be your bell toy. You give him the ball, you run it. And they had the lead, and they just started throwing the ball, and they just got gunsling hats.
Do you think?
Running the ball.
Do you think that Bell is finished with the Steelers?
Yes.
All right,
he'll come back. He already said that he don't want to be dogged out this season, so he'll come back around week 10 or so like that and play out 6 games. And if they make the playoffs, fine. If not, then he'll look for somewhere else to play.
All right, who is your pick between the Chiefs and Steelers in this game?
I'm going with Kansas.
I'm going with Kansas City too because Ben Roethlisberger, I think his time is slowly about to come to an end in Pittsburgh, and it bears watching how Mike Tomlin is going to do because I think Tomlin is, at the end of his roles with Pittsburgh as well.
They wanted to get rid of him already in the beginning of the season, but they just didn't have no good coaches out there. So that time is already on borrowed time. And anytime a player said they should retire and they want to retire, that means they're done. Their head is not in the football anymore, and Roethlisberger's head is not in football anymore.
Exactly. Next game, the Houston Texans and the Tennessee Titans. Both teams are 0-1. The Titans are a favorite in winning this ball game. Who are you picking?
I'm going with the Houston Texans.
Why?
Because I think Deshaun Watson going to get himself together, and they got a better defense.
True that.
And Mariota, he was injured, and they saying he's the available to play and all that. I don't even trust him. He's in a new system, a Mike Vrabel system. I don't know if he's going to be as capable. Houston, they had their whole team, and they're in the same system. They know what they're doing. Deshaun Watson is the only thing that's had to pick it up, and he's going to pick it up this week. I know it.
And this is an AFC South division game, so the division games is always going to be close. I'm going with the Texans myself. I think Lamar Miller will have a great day against that Titans defense, and it bears watching as to see what DeAndre Hopkins is going to do, like he did against the Patriots last week.
Game last week. It was just DeAndre Hopkins wasn't in the game because Sammy Watson wasn't in the game. I mean, Sean Watson.
Sean Watson, yeah.
He's going to get more acquainted, and he'll be in the game, and they'll get it together.
They'll get it together, exactly. All right, we got the Indianapolis Colts going to FedEx Field to face the Washington Redskins. Of course, the Colts lost, and the Redskins went to Arizona and banged out the Cardinals. Who's your pick?
One-liner, Redskins.
I'm telling you why this Redskins is starting to be a surprise, because the emergence of Adrian Peterson may put some life with Washington, because believe it or not, I had Washington finishing dead last. It can still happen, but
not only Peterson. I mean, before Peterson, they brought in Alex Smith, so that was a new fresh breath air. That was new life.
New fresh.
A veteran quarterback sitting in the locker room explaining to these young guys, and then you bring in Peterson. That's two all pros right there.
And like I said about Indianapolis last week, I'm not buying this Andrew Luck thing about him coming back. I don't know if he rushed back too soon or
he's unlucky.
He's not the same quarterback.
He's unlucky. He has no weapons around him. He has no running game. He has no wide receivers besides, what's his name, the young little fast one. But otherwise than that, he has nothing around him.
And I'm going with,
gave him a bad team.
yeah, and I'm going with the Washington Redskins myself. Of course, the Colts will be on 2 before they head to Philadelphia next weekend. We got the Miami Dolphins traveling to MetLife Stadium to face the 1-0 Jets. Of course, the Dolphins won a crazy, suspended, thunderous game that took almost, 6, maybe 7 hours to finish up. Boy, that was jet lag for me if I was to go down there. It really was. And, of course, the Jets did what they had to do in a big win against the Lions. Who are you picking for this week's game?
Jets.
And something's telling me that and this is an AFC East division game, so you know it's going to be close. You know what? It's crazy that it sounds, but I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins. And the reason why I'm going with the Miami Dolphins in an upset is because Ryan Tannehill, he always played the Jets tight. He finds ways to win. Even though the Dolphins got the job done on their home turf, Sam Darnold may find this Dolphins defense to be a little bit more treacherous than that Detroit Lions defense.
This is a new Jets team. They just came off a big road win on Monday night.
Yep.
And they're going to be very, very excited about that. I mean, it is a short week for them, but that's even better for them because they're going to be so amped up and coming off a Monday night win in Detroit, a team that supposed is a potential contender, and you beat them on Monday night in front of their home crowd. They're going to be very excited to come in front of their home crowd, and they're going to get rid of the Dolphins. I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout, but they're going to beat the Dolphins.
That would be, then this is my upset pick of the week, by the way. I got my upset pick last week when the Bengals beat the Colts, and this is my upset pick this week. I'm going with the Dolphins over the Jets because, like I said, Sam Darnold, he might be nervous. He might throw at least 1 or 2 picks just like he did in that first play of the game in Detroit. Something like that could happen again. It can also burn him as well. So I'm going with the upset pick.
I want to say this one thing to finish it off. You see when he threw his first career interception, that kid turned into a stone wall. He threw 2 touchdowns after that, and every pass was on point and on the mark.
True
this
that.
Kid really knows what he's doing, and he's not afraid to make a mistake. but he's going to learn from his mistakes as he should as a rookie.
So you're going with the Jets, and I'm taking the upset this week. My upset pick this week will be the Dolphins over the Jets, so both teams will be 1-1. Here is our game: Philadelphia Eagles and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This game just got a little bit interesting because I didn't think Tampa Bay would put up points against the Saints. And yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick doesn't play that well against Philadelphia as a quarterback. So, and Nick Foles, he will be the starter this week. Carson Wentz is not yet cleared to, play on contact. Probably, I say next week against the Colts. So we'll see, what Peterson and what the Eagles management will say at this point. So Foles will start for the second week in a row. Even though it's an ugly win, I'm going with the Eagles to win this game because, their defense will make this a tight game than most people are expecting it. And I'm not at all worried about Tampa Bay's defense. I'm just more worried about what Deshaun Jackson and Mike Evans will do against our secondary and Darby or Douglas or maybe even Sidney Jones. That's going to be an interesting matchup. Deshaun Jackson and Sidney Jones or Ronald Darby and Mike Evans. So, yeah, I'm going with the Eagles, and they're favored to win this game, so I'm going with the Eagles over the Bucks. And who are you taking?
I'm taking the Rose. Of course, I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they got 10 days to game plan for this game. I think Doug Peterson is going to come up with a great game plan for Nick Foles. I think you're going to see the offense look a lot better than what they did. I mean, they're going to do the same thing the Saints did, which is use their running backs out the backfield, Clemens, Rose, and then you let Ajayi pound the ball. They're going to let him pound the ball early, and then that'll open up the receivers. Something like that. You still got Zach Ertz.
Yes.
I go with Philadelphia with that stingy, nasty defense out there. The Bucs, they have no pressure from the Saints. We're going to come from pressure all on the field. Middle end, left end, right end. We coming straight after Fitzpatrick, and he's not going to be ready for that. And with no running game that Tampa Bay don't propose no running game, we got this game.
And I'm going to predict that rookie Dallas Goedert will get his first NFL touchdown as an Eagle. Like he did in the preseason, he's going to get his first against Tampa Bay down there in Tampa Bay. Now, Bears watching because Hurricane Florence is going to hit the Carolinas between tomorrow night and Friday. So, and there's no trains going down towards South or anything. So this might be tough. If the Eagles get there now, they can get there. But coming back is going to be difficult. So pray for all those in Hurricane Florence's wake because it's coming, and just take precaution and evacuate immediately. I mean, it's going to be a treacherous and devastating storm. Next game, the Cleveland Browns and the 0-1 New Orleans Saints. Who's your pick in this game?
As much as I've been riding away with the Cleveland Browns, and this might upset them, but I doubt I'm going with the Saints. Drew Brees and the team going to be very upset after that loss against Tampa Bay, and they're just going to come out and that's not going to let that happen. They're going to beat Cleveland.
I think the Saints are going to bounce back and win this game because the fact of the matter is, I'm not sure Tyrod Taylor is going to be able to manhandle this Saints defense. I just don't see it. I don't get it. I think Carlos Hyde will have a pretty good game running the ball, and Josh Gordon might get maybe one, maybe two touchdowns. Bears in mind because you don't want the Browns to start this losing skid after tying last week. So, yeah, I think they're going to get their first loss this season.
I think Cleveland needs to run the ball more.
If they run the ball more and don't throw too high in the air, then that Saints defense won't be able to come up with the ball. So, they run the ball more, tired that defense of the Saints, it could possibly be an upset. But right now, you and I going with the Saints, and we're keeping it at that. Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons in another division game in the NFC South.
Ooh, that's going to be a good one.
Who are you taking?
Yikes. We think about this one. Atlanta 0-1, coming off a loss to Philadelphia. Carolina, wrestle the injury, win at home against the Cowboys. I'm going with Atlanta.
Something tells me.
No, let me change.
Something's telling me. Go ahead.
Atlanta.
You gonna stick with Atlanta?
Yeah, even though I was about to say last week they didn't face a quarterback like Cam Newton who can run. I mean, they sacked the hell out of Vic Bulls last week, but I'm going with Atlanta, yeah.
Something's telling me pick Atlanta, but others are saying the Panthers. Why the Panthers? Because remember, the Falcons lost Keanu Neal for the remainder of the season with that ACL tear. And then someone else got hurt as well. And Matt Ryan, I don't think he's got that arm like he used to. Now, don't get me wrong. That Julio Jones catch turned out to be turned out to be an out of bounds completed catch. I'm not sure if Matt Ryan's arm is still going to be the same like he did when he was in the Super Bowl back in 2016. I just don't see that.
The Eagles played them. They saw him last year in the playoff game. It wasn't that long ago they seen him, so they already know how he plays.
And plus it was.
Ryan arm is still there.
And plus it was kind of warm and sticky and stormy on Thursday night. So and Falcons play in the dome. So exactly.
Weather. That's what they used to playing, and not no hot sticky players. They're not baseball players.
And I think Julio Jones and them will get out of this red zone infernary, and they're gonna get the win at the Mercedes-Benz Georgia Dome. Next game, Chargers on the road against the Buffalo Bills. I'm going with the Chargers all day in this one, even though Josh Allen, he is going to be the starting quarterback for the Buffalo Bills.
Chargers, ain't no buts. His and buts about the Chargers.
he means well. And guess what? LaShawn McCoy, he's not going to be facing any charges right now, but, that remains to be seen because, it's just funny about that story. But that's another story for another day.
You're going to see a lot of them running around this week because you got a rookie quarterback out there, no receivers, no tight ends.
Yep.
He's going to be doing a lot of running.
And I don't trust Kelvin Benjamin because since he got hurt last season, he's not really doing much this season. LaShawn McCoy, we'll see. But I think the Chargers are going to have a field day in Buffalo against the Bills. The matchup in the AFC South, Minnesota Vikings, Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers, like I said, he's got a tweaked knee. He didn't practice today, but he's going to take it day by day, so we'll know what he's going to do or what they're going to do with him on Sunday. But here's the thing. If he plays, I'm going with the Packers to win this game because this is the team that put Aaron Rodgers out with that broken collarbone last season. If he don't play, I'm going to go with the Vikings. So it's a 50-50 game, really.
Period.
You're going with the Vikings, period.
An injured Aaron Rodgers against that defense, they really don't have no top-notch wide receivers either. I mean, they played a bad team, Chicago. I mean, Chicago's not a bad team. They're up-and-coming team. They're young. You're going against a real established defense in Minnesota who was in the championship game. They're going to come to play, and they know how Aaron Rodgers is. They played against him. They've been there. They've seen him. They know when he comes to play, you got to bring your best. And they're going to bring their best. And Minnesota, I think, going to win that. I'll pick Minnesota.
And you know what? I'm going to pick Minnesota just for the fact that Kirk Cousins, and don't forget Kyle Rudolph and Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, they have guys. They just starting to work together. Then you ain't see Devin Cook really run the ball.
Dalvin Cook,
Latavius Murray. They ain't really pound the ball the way they can pound the ball.
Exactly.
The 49ers neither. So they got a lot of game plan in their arsenal left too to pull out.
Yeah, so we're both taking the Vikings in this game. And even though I was leaning on the Packers if Aaron Rodgers come, but the Vikings could put a hurting on Rodgers again, I'll be shocked to see that happen. Late games on Sunday, we got the Detroit Lions, who 0-1 against the 0-1 San Francisco 49ers. I'm going with the 49ers because I think Jimmy Garoppolo, he can bounce back after that tumultuous loss by the team that we had just mentioned, the Vikings. And the Lions, I just don't feel right now Matthew Stafford is up for the challenge. And like we was talking about the coach, I think the Lions just quit on their coach in their loss against the Jets Monday night. And I just don't think the 49ers are going to have no problem in beating the hell out of these Lions in wine country. Don't drink too much wine, Lions, because you're about to get ran over into a wall with these 49ers. And they want it back.
I believe the same thing that you just said. I believe the same thing. That team don't like their head coach. They don't like how he practices and trains and do training camp all season. They don't like him at all. And the way they lost on Monday night against the Jets team, who they thought they was bad and could probably beat easily, and you look at this, you look awful. So they're pissed right now. They're pissed at him, and it's not gonna get no better. This Stafford is still he's hobbling. He might play, but he will play.
Exactly. He's hurt too, but he said he's probable, but still questionable.
Yeah, he's gonna get killed out there, and they're gonna lose.
So we both going with the 49ers.
San Francisco,
yeah. The next game, we got the Cardinals at the LA Rams. I'm not even going to spend no time on this game. I'm going with the Rams because I think the Rams are going to be the Philadelphia Eagles this season with Jared Goff being the Carson Wentz, because about them on Monday night against the Raiders, and Todd Gurley, oh my goodness, they're going to run all over that Arizona Cardinal defense.
Terrell, stop. It's week 1 again.
Exactly.
Wait till they face adversity. You got Dominic Sue, the biggest bomb in your locker room.
Exactly.
You got Peterson, you got the lead. This is supposed to be the all-star team, just like the Eagles do when they went out and got Vince Young and guys like that.
Yeah.
All-star teams don't win you Super Bowls. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
And so when they played the Raiders, who's going to decline anyway because of signing John Gruden. So they're already on decline anyway. They've already been branded as a bad team. So wait till they start getting to the good teams. Then you start saying that right now you can't say that.
And Sam
they're
Bradford.
Not my team in week 1. They're not the Eagles of last season. And they're not competing for a Super Bowl to me right now.
And I'm telling you right now, if Sam Bradford have another game like he did last week against Washington, against these Rams, I'd be surprised if that new head coach would bench him and put in Drew Stanton. It would be shocking.
He will. And they will put in that young quarterback. And the Rams will be 2-0. But they just was fortunate to have 2 bad teams on their schedule early. I am not sold on the Rams at all, because at some point, when the losing start and them big mouth players in that locker room start running their mouth, then you'll see how that team starts to fall apart.
We're both going to go with the Rams. The next game, we got the Oakland Raiders and the Denver Broncos. I'm going Denver in this one. Oakland, to me, is just obsolete right now. John Gruden should have stuck on being a TV commentary. He went for the money, and he's going for years. And this Al Davis team of the past may end up going back down that road again, being probably one or the 2 tough worst teams in the NFL.
I don't know if Al Davis Jr. visited that and a struck of lightning came and he saw that. He said, "Son, Gruden." But that was the stupidest thing. I didn't like Gruden as a commentator, and I don't like him as a coach. He got lucky because that was Tony Dungy's team that he took over in Tampa Bay. And it was already put together. So the only thing he had to do was just bring in his new attitude to that team to bring them a championship.
And you know what was funny about that game? What was funny about that game was when Marshawn Lynch in the red zone got piled in with 5 other defenders on top of him, dragged him into the end zone. That was amazing. John Gruden was pumped in, but then wah, 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 wah. The floodgates opened, and the Rams just took it in after that. It was a close game in the first half, but the Rams came back and just annihilated them. So I don't think the Raiders have a chance to beat the Broncos at Mile High Stadium. We're both taking the Broncos, and hell, that's just that. The defense, offense is going to be clicking. Case Keenum's going to do what he have to do. Broncos all over the Raiders. The big game of the week, the AFC Championship rematch. The New England Patriots traveling back to Jacksonville to face the Jaguars. Who are you picking?
I'm picking the alley cat in the jungle. I'm picking the starving jaguar who's hungry and looks to the bushes and he see a Patriot out there without his gun, which is Tom Brady, and he's hungry and he just run up on him and pounce. Because last year the Patriots put them out of the playoff in the championship game. And they had them beat and they snatched the rug right from under them. And New England has no talent on offense besides Tom Brady and Gronkowski. I'm going with the Jaguars.
And you're picking that as an upset.
Yes, that's my upset pick of the week.
Because the Patriots are, the Patriots are favored to win in this game. And you know what? I'm going to stick with the Patriots. Reason being, Leon Fournette tweaked his knee. He didn't practice today, so if he's not able to play, they will have T.J. Yeldon as the backup. What's that?
Can I ask you a question?
What's that?
Last week you faced Odell Beckham. When he faced him, Odell Beckham scored a few catches, but when they switched up the defense and he wasn't on him, that's why Odell Beckham had a big game. Correct? So who are the Patriots and Ramsey going to line up on the Patriots? They have no receivers at all. So, I mean, if there's no number one, there's no Odell Beckham. The Patriots, what are you going to put him on, Gronkowski? That's the best receiver. They have no receivers over there at all. He's going to have a field day. He's going to pick off Tom Brady, and that front line is going to get a lot of pressure on Tom Brady. Believe that.
That's a good thought.
Jacksonville is going to swipe them out.
That's a good thought. So we're kind of split with this. He's going with the Jaguars, and I'm going with the Patriots because the Patriots is that team, TB12.
Well, it's time to be knocked off the pedestal.
True. We'll see. Sunday night game. We got another division game. The Battle of the Basement. The NFC East. New York Giants. Dallas Cowboys. Both teams 0-1. Giants played better than the Cowboys last week, even though they both lost. And Dak Prescott just looked awful against that defense of the Carolina Panthers. And Eli Manning, I think he's near his time, and they don't have a backup quarterback. But I think for some reason, I'm going with the Giants to win this game because the Cowboys don't have that tight end, that wide receiving motion right now. And Odell Beckham and Evan Ingram, and oh my Lord, what more can I say? Saquon Barkley. I'll be shocked if he get 2 touchdowns on the Cowboy defense. I'll be shocked.
I'm not. Over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, and maybe one could be rushing, one receives. The Cowboys stink. Their defense stink. They have no receivers. They remind me of the Eagles team back in the day with McNabb when they had no receivers. Nobody could get open. And they stink, and I love watching it. And the Giants, I'm going with the taller people. I'm going with the Giants.
All right, and our last game of the week is Monday Night Football. The 0-1 Seattle Seahawks traveling to Soldier Field, Chicago, Champaign, to face the 0-1 Chicago Bears, who should have beaten the Packers in that Sunday night game, but the lights just turned out on the Bears, and the Packers just swept them up and beat them by 1 point. Khalil Mack is going to be a beast in this game, so
I'm going with Chicago.
If Russell Wilson have that kind of game that the Bears defense don't stop him, because right now there's no Doug Baldwin, and there's a couple other players that's going to be on the lookout as well or watched. I just don't see the Seahawks having a chance to beating this Bears on Monday Night Football. And, of course, the Bears are waiting for that Monday night win because they still haven't had the Monday night win in quite some time. The last time they've been on Monday Night Football was a loss to our Eagles 2 seasons ago, but that's another story for another day. But I'm going with the Bears because of Mitch Trubisky, Jordan Howard, and Khalil Mack.
Ain't none of them, no, you missed out. Howard. I'm going with them because of Khalil Mack.
Khalil Mack, the defense, exactly.
Russell Wilson. He's going to be up his ass all game. And that man going to be doing some stupid stuff because that man going to chase him down. That's why I'm going with the Chicago Bears because he's going to have Russell Wilson running everywhere.
I want to thank you, Maurice, for coming back and doing this and all of that good stuff. And yeah.
Thank you for having me.
All right, guys, time for my 4 against the spread and 4 over-unders for 4 of these games in Week 2. We start off with the Los Angeles Chargers and the Buffalo Bills. The Chargers are 7-point favorites on the road. I'm going to have the Chargers to take those points at -7. Total points for that game is 42.5 points. I'm going to keep it under those 42.5. Next game, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Eagles are 3-point favorites on the road. I'm going to give the Eagles those points at -3 to take it. And the point total for that game is 43.5 points. I'm going to tell you to go over 43.5 in that game. Next game, the Detroit Lions and the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers are 6.5-point favorites at home. I'm going to tell you to give the 49ers to take those points at -6.5. Total points for that game is 47.5 points. Keep it under those 47.5 points. In the final game, the Seattle Seahawks and the Chicago Bears. The Bears are 3-point favorites at home at Soldier Field. I want to tell you to have the Bears to take those points at -3. And the total points for that game is 43.5 points. Keep it under those 43.5. All right, guys, some news. Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receiver Deshaun Jackson is under concussion protocol. He is not cleared to play pending on his physical. So it's a possibility he may not be playing against his former team, the Eagles, on Sunday. Stay tuned for that. Martavis Bryant signed a 1-year deal, rejoining the Oakland Raiders. I don't know why they let him go. I guess to stop the bleeding to return. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. And the injury report on the quarterbacks of both Aaron Rodgers and Matthew Stafford, both of their status are questionable. Both have knee issues. Neither one did not practice, but they will be probable to play in their games this weekend. All right, guys, so that is it for Week 2. My picks and predictions are in. Let me know what you thought about the video. Let me know what you think, who's going to be the upset pick this week or who you think is going to win. Comment, like, and subscribe. This is your boy TJ. Thank you for watching. And again, to all those who are under the gun in the Carolinas, please be safe. We are pulling for you to do the necessary thing, to do what law enforcement tells you to do, and that's to keep your lives. Don't do anything stupid to let this hurricane beat you. It is a life-threatening storm, so please be safe. I'll see you guys next week. Again, thanks for watching, and you guys be safe as well.